Setting the handheld CB radio range test benchmark with the Intek H-520 Plus by Paul, Mike 0 Whiskey November Uniform, or 26 Charlie Tango 730 if you catch me on 11 metres and PMR 446.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Paul, Mike 0 Whiskey November Uniform, or 26 Charlie Tango 730 if you catch me on 11 metres and PMR 446. Now today I was supposed to be actually finishing editing and uploading the video of me on 10 metres, but we had a problem. That problem was I couldn't get out to even do anything on 10 metres because the battery pack I wanted to use, which was a car jump starter, which is the only thing with enough grunt really, to run the SS9900 at an appreciable amount of power. I could run it QRP from the car cigarette lighter socket, but I'd have only turned the power back down if I needed to. Just turn it up a bit to see what was what, because the conditions were actually quite good. I think the band is closed now. 11 metres meanwhile, that's also closed, and I'm getting about S7 of nearly S9 of noise on the 1.9. I wasn't getting that before, so I'll find out what that is, and it could be a neighbour or it could be something in here, so you know. So what I've done with that battery is I've popped it onto an external charger. I've removed it from the jump starter, so I'm thinking about rebuilding the jump starter as something else because the cost to get one of those batteries shipped is going to be prohibitively expensive because it's a heavy sealed lead acid battery. So I'm going to cut in a bit that I filmed earlier showing you what the deal with that battery is. It's not good.
Hey guys, this is a sealed lead acid battery out of my car jump starter. It's completely dead, I think. It's given me 11.89 volts when I test it. It went up to about 12 point some, but then it's just dropped with no load on it. And it was only trickle charged by the charger, so that's now I've left it overnight. So now I'm going to try and see what happens if I can do this without things going here, there and bloody everywhere. It's actually quite difficult, so I'll just balance that through there for the minute. It shouldn't read anything until I somehow manage to get it to read something. Let's see. There we go. Connected the negative and it's 11.8 volts. And the jump starter claimed to charge it, went from a red light to a green light, and then there's nothing after that. So I'm going to go and pop that on a charger for a little while and see what happens, but I'll cut back to the current video then. Most disappointing, I suppose, and can't afford a new battery at the moment because unfortunately I'm not getting that many hours at work. So, right, let's cut back to the main video.
Alright guys, you can see what the problem is there with that battery, so yeah, that's why I couldn't go up on the hills. So I've removed the jump starting clamps, like crocodile clip things from the jump starter itself. I had to redo the heat shrink on the ring terminal lugs that were inside it, because that heat shrink, I don't think it was actually made to a decent standard in there. So I might be able to run 10 metres in a different manner on a different day. I'm not going to do it now, so the weather's set to get a little bit wet, and it's not going to be ideal if it rains, and well, the idea was to put those on across the battery of my car with the engine running, supplying a bit of charge to the battery and also being able to run the radio. So that was my idea with that. Through that Sotabeams Fuser 6 box behind me, just to make sure I don't blow anything up, because I don't really want to blow up my SS9900. So I'm going to get on to the subject of this video now, which is going to be this. And what I'm going to do with this is, the other week I did a video where I set a benchmark test with the antenna I've got now, which is the boomerang antenna, which I've obviously since put back up, so I had to take it down the other day, if you read my Twitter, because it was raining and I hadn't put self-amalgamating tape on it, and I also had to tighten up the bolts on the metal arm that holds it on the pole. So that's all done. The antenna's back up, and obviously I checked it out, and it is getting out, and when I did the 19 for a rig check, I was surprised, I actually got a response from a gentleman that was up on Tan Hill. So, Tan Hill's home of the highest pub in this country. You might look that up. Well, obviously, for after COVID-19, because the pubs are all shut at the moment. Although, to be honest, up there's like nobody up there. So, it's probably one of the few places where you're likely to pick up COVID-19. So, it's a good place to go for radio, and that proved it. So, obviously, I probably wouldn't have heard him right now because I'm getting S7 of noise on there. So, on the channel I want to use, it's down to about S5. It just seems to be on the 19, so I wonder what's going on there. So yeah. So, the idea is, it's the same test as, similar test as, well, it won't be the same test of me driving in the car because this is a handheld and requires a slightly different range test. Now, with this antenna on it, I don't expect a very good distance, although when I did the revisit of these radios, which was doing a similar route to the handheld CBs Are They Any Good, which was the first major look at handheld CBs, these didn't perform well handheld to handheld with these antennas. When I revisited the subject with the Midland and its stock antenna, which is exactly the same size as this, being received on that Grant 2, it got back into base no problem at all. With a little bit of impulse noise on the transmission, primarily because I think there's someone around here using PLT, and you know, if that stuff were tested properly, it wouldn't even be on the market, but sadly it is. And there's also the other Chinese stuff that gets imported straight in off eBay that doesn't have the proper mains filtering on it. So, you know, and yeah, there's not really much you can do there. So, channel 20 seems to be okay from a noise perspective, although having said that, I won't have the sensitivity control turned up on the SDR too high, because it doesn't need to be. It just needs to be high enough that it can receive a signal. So the test route I have planned is down the street and just keep going in a due south-ish direction, which will put a lot of buildings and things between the receive antenna, which is up here, and obviously the transmit antenna, which is this rubber duck. This is on a fully charged set of batteries. I did charge these a day or two. Well, would have been took a day or two to charge them, but they are charged, and the radio is set to the full output power, which is what it needs to be. It needs to be set to the 4 watt range, which means I'm going to go take this. Obviously, I wouldn't have been able to do it the other day when the lift was on, but I can do it now because the lift seems to have died off, and I'll hopefully also find out what's going on with that S7 of noise on the Grant 2 there. So I'm going to set up the tablet to record the transmissions, and I'll grab the other camera and I will set off, because I can manage to film better with the other camera, and we'll see out of 15 stops this actually works, and I'll collate the results and report back. So I will see you once I'm outside.
Okay, trying out a new feature on the phone here, picture in picture. So you join me on a bit of a wet day, a cool day. Well, actually it's not raining now. So this is so you can see me, and you can also see the route I'm going to take. It'll only let me record 5 minutes at a time in this mode, which is a bit of a pain, but I think that's just how it is. So yeah, so you can see where I am walking and where I'll be going to. So I'm using channel 20 on the of the H-520 Plus, and 4 watts, just rubber duck antenna, and no. So this is our first check-in point coming up now. I'll be using the call sign Papa Mike 27 as before. So here we are, we're in the first place, which is the size of the old phone box. So here's the radio. Okay, Papa Mike 27 test, site of old phone box. Okay, I'll cut that in and I'll catch you at the next bit. Okay, Papa Mike 27 test, site of old phone box. Okay, roughly at the bottom of the street. There's the radio. Time for the next test. Papa Mike 27 test, bottom of the street. 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. Probably better if it's long transmission. Catch you at the next bit. Papa Mike 27 test, bottom of the street. 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. Okay, this will be the next testing point, and there might be a bit of wind noise because there's a little bit of a breeze, but it's not windy. Okay, so there's the radio again. Papa Mike 27 test, behind the houses at the bottom of the street. 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. Right, catch you at the next bit. Papa Mike 27 test, behind the houses at the bottom of the street. 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. Right, some of the next bit. Just walk a little bit further, and then I can go again with the next bit. This picture-in-picture thing's actually not bad. I was just playing around with the S4 and I managed to find it and managed to be able to change it to a decent picture. So let's see. So there's the radio. Just bring it in front of the other camera, and we'll go from there. Papa Mike 27 test, side path beside Catterick Leisure Centre, Catterick Garrison. 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. This is a test transmission. Right. Should really have checked if this frequency was clear, but to be honest, on a rubber duck I don't think it's too much of an issue. On a telescopic, maybe it might be slightly different, but if I get an old handheld from the 80s, we'll run this test with it and see how it fares. Right. Next bit's just over there. You should be able to just see that. Papa Mike 27 test, side path beside Catterick Leisure Centre, Catterick Garrison. 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. This is a test transmission. My next checkpoint, B&M Home Stores. Papa Mike 27 test outside B&M Home Stores, Catterick Garrison. 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. Yeah, I decided I'll do it on this side of the road because there's B&M staff actually in their smoking shelter, having a smoke of the old cancer sticks. Yeah. Right. Next one's bottom of the steps at Tesco. Papa Mike 27 test outside B&M Home Store, Catterick Garrison. 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. There's the radio at the bottom of Tesco steps. Papa Mike 27 testing, bottom of Tesco steps. 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. Right, next one's supposed to be down there, but I might have to go slightly different because of the COVID-19 situation. So bear with me. Close to Tesco's front entrance as I can get. There's the radio. Papa Mike 27 test, front of Tesco, Catterick Garrison. 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. Okay, next stop's bottom corner of the car park. Check-in point, that's the local McDonald's across there, and on Tuesday night the queue was all the way back up here, and therefore everyone going in there unfortunately did have a knock-on effect of the job I do. I deliver pizzas for a well-known pizza establishment that isn't actually too far from here. I'm not going to say which one it is, but I'm going to say it's not too far from here, so you know. So that's the local McDonald's, and I'm at the bottom where Pound Stretcher is. I'll sort of take the camera around so you can sort of see that. Yeah, that's Pound Stretcher there. So that's the local McDonald's, that's the radio. Let's do the test. Papa Mike 27, Papa Mike 27 testing. 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1 on Intek H-520 Plus. Should have mentioned that. The Pound Stretcher corner of Tesco's car park. Right. next check-in's down these steps.
Papa Mike 27, Papa Mike 27, testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on Intek H-520 Plus, should have mentioned that. The pound set the corner of Tesco's car park.
Terrain. The next check-in is outside here, which is Love Property in Catterick Garrison. So here's the radio, turn it back on. There we go, that's lit up, and Papa Mike 27 test opposite Love Property, Catterick Garrison, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2 on Intek H-520 Plus. Okay, next one's just over there. Okay, this is my next check-in outside Aldi, so there's the radio. Papa Mike 27 test across the road from Aldi, Catterick Garrison, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Next one's just a little bit up there. There's military stuff behind me, so I don't want to be filming that, so I'm pointing at the roundabout, not far from where I was, so this will probably be just the same as the last test. It'll either work or it won't. Yeah, Papa Mike 27 test, Leyburn Road, on the Intek H-520 Plus, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right, next one's up there on Scotland Road. So, join me then. And I'll pull that on the air as well. Okay.
Papa Mike 27 test, Leyburn Road, on the Intek H-520 Plus, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right, next one up there on Scotland Road. So, join me then.
Not radio related, but this is a little something by the camp centre roundabout, Catterick Garrison. Which relates to the history of the area and the garrison and how it came to be. So I'm not sure how well that's all showing up for you, but I'll just turn around and let you see the roundabout there. That's the roundabout. As you can see, artwork was commissioned recently. Can't remember at what cost or how they got the funding to do it. But yeah, it's good. So I'll go on to my next check-in point with the radio in a minute. I thought I'd like to show you this. It's not often you get to see around the local area that much, so I'll throw this in for good measure. And once upon a time, that roundabout actually had a railway line going straight through the middle of it. A long time ago there. No trains today, sadly, apart from that one there that steam engine, looks like a tank engine constructed out of stone. Oh well. So we'll go on to the next check-in. Oh, and the sun's coming out as well. Beautiful. See you shortly. With the next checking in point, we've just got to be careful while I'm filming around here because there is military installations here. So there's the radio. Papa Mike 27 test, Scotland Road, Catterick Garrison, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's the radio again. So I think there's at least one or two more. If I've missed any, I've missed any, and I'm sure I'll remember for next time.
Papa Mike 27 test, Scotland Road, Catterick Garrison, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, I'm at my final check-in with picture-in-picture, which only records for 5 minutes, which is a bit strange. Don't know why it does that. This is Church Road, so that's the radio. Final transmission. Papa Mike 27 testing for the final time on the Intek H-520 Plus, Church Road, Catterick Garrison. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that, I believe, is that. And I've chose this spot because there's trees in the way. Now across this road, there's hardly anything coming, and we'll go across this bridge, which I thought was for cyclists, but it's apparently not. It's apparently a pedestrian bridge. Whoa, it's probably a bit slippery as well, although it's using checker plate. So, I think it's checker plate. Looks like it. It's alright. There we go. Right, now it's time for me to go back to the home QTH, back into the shack, and see how we fared. I'll see you shortly.
Right, so I'm back home. I have been for a while now. My Oh, my 7 of noise has just gone. It was there, but it's gone. It comes and goes, I've noticed. So I'm wondering if it is an enabler with a PLT device. If you look at some of the SDR captures, you'll see a faint white trace, roughly where channel 19 on 2781 would be. That's my 7 of noise, which has actually just come back as we speak. I mean, it's, unless that's the Cleveland Burner Brigade now, which it could potentially be, because it's about the time they'd come on. So I can actually hear them on that radio, surprisingly enough. So the Intek H-520 Plus setting its benchmark for handheld CBs. It pretty much did a good job of it. It could have potentially scored 13 points out of a possible 15. I missed about 2 areas, but it only scored 12 in this instance. It could have scored 13 or 14 out of a potential 15, but it only scored 12 because I missed two points out. So there you go. That's because I didn't actually have access to the information at the time. But I pretty much was going by the same as off memory that I was doing for when I was doing the T3000. So it'll be interesting to see how the Midland 42 fares against it. So that might be a video for another day. And yeah, this was supposed to be the video for me going on 10 meters, but obviously that never happened because of battery problems, which you've already seen. So I'm hoping to cobble something together that'll allow me to run a 10 meter rig off my car's own battery, but obviously not when it's raining like it has been today, because it was raining on and off. And that probably about sums it up really. So nothing else to cover on this subject. The H520 has set the handheld CB benchmark, much like the T3000 has set the mobile benchmark. So I'm done there. So both benchmarks are set. So this is Paul, Mike 0, Whiskey November, Uniform, or 26 Charlie Tango 730 if you catch me on 11 metres and PMR 446. And if the band opens again, listen out for me on 10, because I should be on 10. On 11 I'll tend to use the legal 4 watts out of the radio. I don't usually use the power unless it's a case of if you can't beat them, join them, but I do not like to use power on 11 metres. On 10 metres I'll use the power just needed to obviously make the contact as per the ham mantra. So if 10's open again, I hope to work you on there. If 11 opens up, obviously, because 10 will be open as well, I'll be able to work, if I can work you on 11 at 4 watts, then I will. You can catch me on the 2 meter repeaters sometimes as well when I'm monitoring. Usually when I'm at work, which has been reduced to 3 days, 15 hours a week now for me, unfortunately. I'll generally be listening to the GB3IR repeater in Richmond, or the GB3HG repeater on Sutton Bank. And I also tend to monitor CB channel 19, so you can shout me on there if you're in the local area, although do bear in mind that I do suffer the QRM from the Cleveland Burner Brigade over in the Yarm, Gisborne, Stokesley area, where they just sit on the 1.9 and run a bit too much power, so just bear that in mind as well. So right, so stay safe guys. I know everything's opening back up now, but you still keep yourselves safe guys. Just watch for the virus and look after yourselves, your friends, family, your loved ones. Make sure everyone's all alright, and don't forget, still get on the radio, and I hope to catch you on the air very soon. 7-3s for now guys.
Don't forget, you can subscribe to this channel and ring the bell to be notified of new videos as I upload them. 73s from Paul, Mike 0, Whiskey November Uniform, or 26 Charlie Tango 730 on 11 metres and PMR 446.